Regina Hill. Thank you for joining me on Hollywood Health News TV, where the story of medicine never ends. This segment features Montel Williams, and the topic will be multiple sclerosis and medical marijuana. By way of introduction, Montel Williams is well known for his role as a television talk show host of his very own The Montel Williams Show. When asked how it all began, Montel's response was,
long story short, I started a program while on active duty right before I came out of service where I was speaking to kids in schools during my free time. I then started a foundation on my own leave time where I was giving back some money to schools and giving out some scholarships to kids, and that all kind of snowballed. By the time I blinked, I was on NBC National News, the Today Show, and next thing you know, I'm creating this thing called the Montel Williams Show. 17 years later, the Montel Williams Show is still there.
More recently, Montel Williams has appeared in the media in relationship to his battle with multiple sclerosis. When asked how multiple sclerosis has changed his life, his response was,
it's changed every aspect of my life, every part of my life. There's not a second that goes by that I don't realize I have MS. Even standing here talking to you, my feet are on fire right this minute. I should have medicated myself about 15 to 20 minutes ago, but I did an hour on the show there, and now we're here together. The second I walk outside of this building, believe me, I will medicate myself with marijuana.
Speaking of medical marijuana, Mr. Williams has recently become infamous for his role as an activist for the legislation of medical marijuana in the United States. When asked where he gets his marijuana from, Montel responds,
I'm a card-carrying marijuana user in 2 of the 14 states that it's legal in.
And when asked how often he uses marijuana, Montel responds,
every single day, and I will do so every day until the day I drop dead. I medicate myself every morning, I medicate myself throughout the day, and I medicate myself every single evening, just the same way as anybody else does, and just the same way as I did when I got up in the morning taking the prescription medication that I was taking at inordinate amounts to keep track of the same issues that I have and I'm using marijuana for.
And finally, when asked what marijuana does for him, his response was
that it is one of the most efficacious drugs on the planet for the disease that I have, MS. I don't get the same euphoria that other people do. I get neuropathic pain lessening, and that's why I use it. I have pain in my lower extremities that is here 24 hours a day, 365 days a year, every single minute of the day. I'm sitting here right now with you. You asked me if I use marijuana today. I'm sitting here right now with you, and I could, if I wasn't being interviewed, I would be outside here right now trying to make sure I can medicate myself to stop some of this pain, because that's where it's at, and it stays there. The only thing I can do right now is to take it from about a 6 to a 4, sometimes a 5 to a 3, and that makes it manageable.
So you've heard it here. Montel Williams self-medicates with medical marijuana to treat the neuropathic pain associated with multiple sclerosis. At this point, we'd like to ask our media correspondent, D.O.C., the media medic, to explain how multiple sclerosis causes neuropathic pain and how marijuana alleviates that pain.
Thank you, Regina, Montel Williams, and Hollywood Health for allowing me to comment. I will begin to answer your questions first by discussing the mechanism of disease for multiple sclerosis. Multiple sclerosis is a disease that affects the central nervous system, which includes the brain, spinal cord, and the optic nerves. Everything we do, including walking, talking, breathing, and thinking, involves the proper functioning of the central nervous system. To understand how multiple sclerosis can impact the central nervous system, we must explore the disease at the cellular level. In the brain, millions of nerve cells called neurons continuously send and receive signals. Each signal is a minute but necessary part of intricate central nervous system orchestrations that culminate in the actions, sensations, thoughts, and emotions that comprise the human experience. The path over which a nerve signal travels is normally protected by a form of insulation called the myelin sheath. This insulation is essential for nerve signals to reach their target. In multiple sclerosis, the myelin sheath is eroded and the underlying nerve fiber is damaged. This leads to a breakdown in the ability of the nerve cells to transmit signals. It is believed that the loss of myelin is caused by a mistaken attack by immune cells. Immune cells ordinarily protect the body against foreign substances such as bacteria and viruses. But in multiple sclerosis, something goes wrong. Immune cells infiltrate the central nervous system where they seek out and attack myelin. And this is how multiple sclerosis causes the neuropathic pain. As ongoing inflammation and tissue damage occurs, nerve signals are disrupted. This causes unpredictable symptoms that can range from numbness, tingling, and pain to blindness and paralysis, which includes the symptoms of neuropathic pain as described by Montel Williams. And these losses may be temporary or permanent. Now, the second part of the question, how does marijuana alleviate the neuropathic pain of multiple sclerosis? It turns out that marijuana does have both analgesic and anti-inflammatory properties, enabling it to provide relief for the neuropathic pain associated with multiple sclerosis.
A final question from the both of you. Why hasn't the FDA and the medical community rallied behind in support of medical marijuana?